Alright, here it goes. This is my first video on my coffee brand, but I thought it important to show everyone how to make the perfect cup using a very simple pour over method. First important thing, good beans. What I have here is the Ethiopian Grade 1 Yirgacheffe Kochere. It was just roasted a few days ago. It's very important that you give it enough time to set after it roasts. You roast each bean specifically a certain way depending on what that bean is telling you to do. This I roasted just before second crack. It's got levels of flavor, but it's still smooth even at its darker roast. So here it is all ground up. First thing you need to know when doing a pour over method coffee is, well, this is a very cheap pour over, but that paper, you don't want that flavor. So first you're going to pour some hot water all over that filter, and this does multiple things. This wets the filter, it gets rid of that paper taste, and it also warms the cup. Okay, that water there is very hot. It's just below boiling. Now, when you do a pour over measurements, the way you cut the beans, very crucial. So this is ground to right around how you would drip, but a little bit less coarse is how I like it. You know, we live in a day and age where you can decide for yourself, but you know, through all the testing of coffee and all the roasting I've done, it's what I found best. So the next important thing is to measure appropriately. You need the right amount of coffee for the right amount of beans. So my cup there is 8 ounces. So what we're going to do is we're going to put exactly 8 ounces of coffee in this here. Way too fancy of a thing to be using for this. And then for every 4 ounces, you give it a tablespoon. That's how you measure cups in coffee. So this is just 2. And to my own liking, you know, you can make adjustments. I put an extra half a tablespoon in there. Okay? So that's just the ground Ethiopian Yirgacheffe from a very special estate. These beans are sun-dried on the tree in the region where coffee came from. These are the trees that all other coffee came from. So now I'm going to have to show you how to do this. Now that it's all ready to go, you can see I have my properly measured coffee over the pour over the cup, and my kettle, which is curved, which is quite important. You'll see why soon. And it is not at boiling temperature. It's below boiling temperature. You don't want to overdo it with the coffee. You'll destroy some flavors. So what I'm going to do is you just wet the beans slowly. Okay? You want it to like bubble up and show some of those gases being exposed. And then you'll proceed in a circular motion, trying your best not to touch the paper. See that? Some of that gas is flying out, and you can see the crema on top. This is what makes for phenomenal flavors, and the advantage over a French press, although I do like a French press as well for certain coffees, is that you don't get an overwhelming sense of flavor. This helps you to separate and really get a feel for those very mild notes that some might not notice traditionally. So I'm going to keep going. You want it to flow steadily, but at the same time you don't want to just pour it over, otherwise you have nothing more than a drip coffee. So you'll see it's coming down nicely in there. So evenly trying to continue, get some of that gassiness out of the beans. If you could see it, there's almost like a soapy look on top. That's what you want to see, and that's kind of what you want to expose. Like, look at all the crema is the creamy part. Like when you get an espresso, you see it on top. Now, in this case, you won't see that in the cup, but you'll notice a wonderful array of flavors. Sorry if this is boring you. This is quite entertaining to me because I love coffee, and I love knowing that these particular beans are the beans that made all other beans, and they're still done the same way, same elevation, same location, which means their flavors are extremely genuine. And it's hard in this day and age to know where your beans really come from. I know precisely where these beans came from. I know who grew them. And furthermore, I know how they were dried, processed, and how they got here, which is very important to me. So you can see it's just finishing up there. Right. So this is all done. You'll notice the beans are dry. Now it's very important you stir it after you finish. Just a wee bit to get all those flavors in there. And then you can try it. You can try it, just sip on it however you want. Or me, because I love to hear or sense all the flavors. It's a damn good cup of coffee. A lot of berry notes, because these are sun-dried on the trees in which that they are ripened. So they're allowed to dry in there. It's a huge risk to the farmers, but that's the way they've been doing it. And because of that, you get some lovely berry notes. Tastes like chocolate-covered strawberries with a caramel finish. That's my opinion. Some would argue against adding cream to a coffee this good. I notice if I add just a dab of cream, I end up tasting those berry notes way better, regardless of what they say you should and should not do. So there you have it, a damn good cup of coffee and how to do it. If you're interested in any of these beans, I do sell these coffee beans. They're roasted to order. For them to have optimal flavor, I roast it, I send them out very quickly, and they should be consumed within 7 to 11 days of being roasted, and then you'll have all those flavors that you're missing most oftenly when you don't get a single origin coffee that is roasted appropriately.